know where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you landed here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the Warfield.
This episode of Chief Concerns is brought to you by BetOnline.AG and NordVPN.com. There might be less football being played, but BetOnline has way more stuff to bet on this playoff season. From scores, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the number one spot for all things NFL betting in 2022. And with the new year comes a new updated desktop and mobile website. So sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. And it's not just football. BetOnline's basketball, hockey, boxing, and UFC odds coverage is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your number one online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey there, Marcus Dash here, co-host of Chief Concerns. At the conclusion of this episode, please make sure to like and subscribe to our podcast right here on YouTube. And for all you listeners out there, please be sure to give us a 5-star review on any of the platforms you use to listen to us. I want to thank you all for listening to us throughout the season, and we look forward to engaging with you all throughout the offseason. Enjoy the episode. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Chief Concerns. We're here with our hosts, Jason Dunn and Eric Warfield. Obviously, everyone's still kind of getting over their loss on Sunday. I hope all you guys are doing well. How you guys feeling right now?
I mean, I was over it that day. It's just, something that you didn't expect, obviously, before and after the game. Like, there was no way you could have told me that game would have played out exactly the way the first game played out. I'm talking about exactly.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. To me, what do you do, right? I mean, it was a missed opportunity, for the guys. I know they was upset. We've been there before. We know how the loss feels. So as bad as we felt, they was feeling 10 times worse. So the way I look at it, as much as what we think we haven't invested into it, man, these guys have a little bit more invested into it. Very disappointing on their part. So I was just, hey, you just got to deal with it. Deal with it, and you just kind of got to take it in stride. See what you're going to do with, reevaluate everything that went on, in the game, and could have did this, could have did that. But the bad part about all that is, and he can attest to this, is when you have missed opportunities like that. I mean, you just constantly beat yourself up. You wanted, what I didn't do right, what if I just worked a little bit harder, if I tried this play right here a little bit, harder, tougher, could have made a difference. And once you get home and you get that loss, it's always all those questions just rain down on you. That's a bad feeling to be, man. It's tough.
I don't think that's the case, though, JD.
What do you mean?
I don't think that to me, now, offensively, I don't want to sit here and beat the offense down because the defense had to give up the points in the second half. But as I said last week, we're not going to stop them. We already knew that. We just had to contain them. We contained the guy that we talked about almost every episode or with every person that we talked with, which is Jamar Chase. Mm-hmm. The other half of that is Joe. I knew we weren't going to stop Joe. Joe's good. You got to give him credit. And in the moment, he was prepared. Joe is not a scrambling guy. And when he needed the yards, he took them. Now, I say that to what you just said is because, to me, in the second half, the offense looked disconnected. I don't want you to think I'm not a Mahomes fan because I'm 100% am. I just know between the texts you kind of thought I was. Just to me, he lost something at halftime. I don't know what it was. And it's almost the way we lost it in Cincy when Tariq missed the big pass. And then we come to the halftime of this game, Tariq doesn't get in the end zone. Didn't capitalize. Although the pass with Tariq, the deep one in that game was almost like a Hail Mary. But this was a design play that we had going in, and we had opportunities to get those 3 points at any point. I understand what we did of trying to run the clock down and just go for the last 3 points or get a touchdown if we could, but we didn't. The second half, man, it's just like after that first drive, I think we got the first down on the first possession. Next possession was a run play, pass play, and then it was like a corner out he threw to Kelsey. He threw it a little bit too far. So we had to punt. After that, our offense was stalled. And it was more so it was like Patrick didn't believe in something. I don't know what it was. That's just me. I sat here and watched this game. That's why I sent you guys a long text messages. I sat and rewatched this game. It's like, he is off somehow. I'm 100% Patrick Mahomes fan, 100%. And just like I said during the beginning of the season, like he was shaken or shook from those interceptions. That bothered him. That bothered the way our offense played. That bothered the way the entire team played. Something shook him at halftime. I don't know if it was missing the points. Somebody said something in the stands that kind of rattled him or what. But he didn't come out with that same fire that he started the game out with.
I'll say this, in kind of my assessment of what I was saying. Really, is ultimately we'll put it on, the quarterback, who's of course he's the face of the franchise, right? But when I looked at this game, I reevaluated it, and I went through this whole thing again. And there's missed opportunities on both sides of the ball. And I'm telling you, I'm talking about there's some lazy play. There's like some lack of effort, and a lot of it wasn't just Pat. A lot of it goes on to coaches too, putting guys in a position. Okay, so when I'm sitting over here and I'm evaluating everything, I'm evaluating everybody, and I'm looking on opposite side of the ball. What they didn't do, what they didn't run, how the line blocked up front or lack of blocking up front, having a 3-man rush. I'm looking at the defensive line not really getting pushed. Same thing, like Chris Jones is not making 2 sacks, against Joe Burrow on 3rd down. To me, those are big plays. All those little things like that happen in the game that loses momentum. Guys lose. And so even if you hold a team to 24 points, Joe Burrow didn't beat us. I'm sorry. He just didn't.
I didn't say Joe did. Cincinnati beat us.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I'm not taking away from Joe Burrow, right? But to me, the Chiefs lost this game. It wasn't the Bengals beat us. The Chiefs lost it. And I'm talking about like missed tackles, bad angles. I'm looking at this across the board. It was our game to win. We beating them, 21-3, significantly before the half was going down. We were to go back, coming back down to score toward the end of the half. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm letting you know offensively. Yeah, you're disappointed not getting the points. You're really disappointed not getting the points. The thing is, you got the ball at the half, right? When you come back out. And so I don't think those guys they're devastated, they're disappointed. And I was just talking about just overall game because they know they missed the opportunity, right, in their time. But the next 2 series, when they came out at that half, the first one was like, it was all out of whack. The second series, they was actually moving the football. But then I seen guys it was drop passes. Like Travis could have had that one ball, right? Now Pat could have had a better ball. I know they was thinking about how they was, at least Pat probably should have put it on him. Tyreek actually opens up behind Travis on that route. He comes wide open on that route behind him. I think Pringle, he actually missed a pass on that play. Bounced right off of it. Hits him dead in his chest. Completely misses it. And so when I'm sitting over there looking at it, like this blame goes all around everybody, And look, 15 got to take it up on his shoulders, right? Because he's, like I said, he's the guy. He has to take it up on his shoulders. But everybody had a piece in this. They really did. And then, like I said too, the coaches look, the coach staff, absolutely. And Andy knows it starts with him, and he knows
This is how much I watched that game. I went back to rewatch. I could basically go second half. I can tell you play by play how all of it happened.
Okay, well I can too. I'm just
six plays we punted when we got the ball. They get it. They don't do anything. They punt. We get it back. We don't do anything. We punt it back to them. They get a decent drive, and our still number one goal was to stop Jamar. I forget 85's name.
Higgins.
He's one of the killers.
Okay, but again, yeah. So we're so concerned with Chase. Higgins is steady chopping us up. He has a deep little seam route, almost like the same thing that Travis caught the 13 seconds play. Puts him down there. We ended up stopping him because I think Ingram gets a sack and they get 3 points out of it. We get the ball back. That's when Patrick throws a little interception to 92, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where their touchdown comes. So with that, and even with that, I can't say it was sloppy play. It was more so, I'll call it undisciplined play, because Fenton, like I said in the text, he has this style of play to where he thinks he's big shit because, a ball is incomplete his way. No, you did not knock that ball down. It had nothing to do with you being in position. Right. It was just a bad throw on the first fade.
Yeah.
The second fade,
you beat.
He got you. You didn't even turn around.
Right. Come on.
And so like that was all on Fenton.
Yep.
And then we get back to the, after that.
Conversion. 2-point conversion. 2-point conversion. Come on. 2-point conversion now. Wide open. I mean, for real. That's bad. That's bad ball right there. That's bad ball.
I get it. And overall, it was team play. I do get that. It's Absolutely. Just that for your leaders, to me, Patrick didn't play well. Chris Jones didn't play well. Defensively, when I look up and my big 95 can't bring a quarterback down when he's got him in his grabs, I'm thinking, what's wrong? Oh, shit. Here it comes. Another drive, he has him. Oh, shit. Here it comes. You can't stop him now. If I'm looking at my quarterback and it's like a pass is overthrown, and I see it in his face that he doesn't have that look. Oh, shit. What's happening? We get those oh, shit moments with our two top players. We can't have that. And so defensively, we falter. Offensively, we falter. When the game should have been won, they technically could have beaten us. When Patrick was scrambling to send it into overtime, and he ends up fumbling the ball, we got lucky and fell on it.
Yeah, but E, man, look, hold on. Let me say this, okay? We'll get to those scenarios like that. But the reality is this, man. We was whooping them the whole game.
That doesn't matter, though. That's the end result.
It absolutely does matter.
It's the end result. That's twice.
But I'm saying, I'm gonna tell you why it does matter. That's why I said it was on us to lose the game. It wasn't nothing that they really did. It was all us. It was all the things that we didn't do, the effort that I seen, the things that guys like when we talking about selling out. When this is the going to the Super Bowl, like you leave everything out on the field. Like it ain't no chance to it. Ain't no tomorrow. It's none of that. It's like, balls to the wall.
Jason, everybody understands that part. But I'm giving you reality of what happened. They beat us.
But I'm saying, hold on. What I'm saying is this though. Guys can understand it, but they don't necessarily do it. And so sometimes some guys, and I'm just telling you, when I'm out there evaluating, I'm looking at effort. I'm gonna give you one matter of fact. So that one when he threw to P. Ryan for the touchdown before the half, okay? If you watch the guys that pull up, the missed tackle, like not even, shedding Jamar Chase to get to one side, that's effort. A lot of that is effort. Guys stop running. Like when you sit over there, like we talked about this. We talked about like, what are you not doing like running to the football, right? Like that's basic things that we do. Like, defensively, you run to the ball. Everybody runs to the ball.
I get that. So your blame is what though?
What I'm saying is, I'm saying that with the team effort, I'm saying that there was things out there that when we should be thinking, everybody thinks, yeah, you're going home tomorrow. Sometimes it wouldn't play like that. It wouldn't I didn't see that play all the way through the game. And that's what I couldn't understand is why everybody wasn't on the same page playing.
So are you saying
that
the coaches
level.
didn't get them amped up enough? They weren't amped up enough?
Man, look, sometimes it's on the player. Okay.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking you.
So coach,
From your perception, you think it's the
my perception, a coach could put you, look, he put you in a position, okay, to be successful, right? Sometimes it didn't happen. The other time, the players got to make the play. Like you said, Pat got to make those throws. Pat can't run around in the back, fumbling the ball and doing all those things. That's a bad deal on his part. That's terrible. That's terrible. And he'll tell you that. It's the same thing like everybody. So if I'm looking as, toward a man, as we know on the team, if I'm sitting over and I'm watching a guy, look, and I don't care, look, the eye in the sky does not lie. We know film does not lie. A guy can say, yeah, I'm giving all my effort, but if I'm looking on the film and I'm watching you, and we know because we see it. We know when a guy's giving everything. We know a guy is selling out into everything to win this game. And there's some things, some effort, I didn't see that. I just didn't. Okay. And I'm just being blatantly honest here. And I'm not going to call no names out because I don't want to do that. But I'm just telling you, there was a lot of guys out there.
I mean, it's over with now.
What's that?
It's over with now.
Well, I know. I'm just saying that. But the thing is, it is over with. And the thing, that's the bad part of it because everybody's going home. And so now what we're doing is just the reactionary of things because now in the off season, guys are going to be going home. Guys going to be getting cut. And so the thing is, man, look, it's their livelihood. We're just talking about it because it's a show. This is what we're doing. We're doing Chiefs concerns. So we're talking about the concerns that the Chiefs are dealing with, right? With the show in itself. And so I'm just saying, like, if we're just calling things out, I'm just giving my observation on effort on some of the guys I didn't see. And there was some things that guys weren't getting help at, what they should have. There should have been a little bit more effort from some guys, and you didn't get it. So, Chris.
So I guess I see it the way the other people see it. And mine is, yes, wait. Effort is a part of it. But my perception is accountability.
Absolutely.
And I don't think that the coaches hold them accountable for the plays that for every given play.
I agree.
And to the results that led to us losing.
Right.
Chris, you one of the top you and Aaron Donald, basically top 2 defensive tackles in the game.
Right.
If Aaron gets that dude, he's down. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Absolutely.
You get this dude, he should be down. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Patrick, you've been labeled the last few years, this quarterback, the best one in the league, make the most unbelievable throws. This position, we need you to make that throw. We need you to make that run. Yes, some of those, scrambles have worked out perfect for us. But in this situation, we need to go forward instead of backwards.
Absolutely.
The guy that was on that side was Ward. It was what's 50's name? I keep forgetting my name.
Hey. Yeah, he goes inside. What? Like, come on, man. Like, what? Come on, seriously. Like when
on the P. Ryan play. So it was Ward over there.
Right.
It was Ward, Sneed, and it was 50's name.
It was Gang.
Yes.
And Thornhill.
And 88. Who was 88? Well, he was the one running up behind him trying to catch it. And now he was hauling ass and didn't have the speed to catch it. And the receiver threw a good block on Ward to where Ward couldn't get hands on it, and you ain't gonna bring P. Ryan down with just no one-hand tackle. The effort didn't come from Tyron. The effort didn't come from Sneed. It did come from Gay. So yes, that play, that was the dagger for them to say, hey, look, we got this. They only had 3 points up until then.
Yeah.
And so to get that touchdown was a staple to say we're right back in it. I don't care if it's at their place. I don't care if they think they got momentum. We're right back in it.
Yeah, it gave them life.
So for coaches, if it plays out the same way that it played it at their place, please tell me you guys know how to make the adjustments, either offensively or defensively, and also to keep these guys inspired and motivated to go out and know what's at the end of this game, and that's a Super Bowl. And yet nobody lived up to that. And here it is. We're not going, and we got to sit up and talk about how bad the play was and how bad the team looked.
Right. So what I'm saying, I'm gonna go back to it again. You know, like the things you're talking about, like Chris not bringing him down, okay, and those guys making their play in the back, Patrick running backwards. Like when I'm sitting over, I'm thinking about effort. Like Joe Burrow, when I seen him making that pull away, that's effort. That's somebody saying, I want this more than you. You're not going to bring me down in this position, right? I need to get a first down. And so coaches, like I said, coaches could do whatever, but it's got to be on the man. Each man's got to be able to do his job. Like you said, accountability. You're saying everything that I'm saying. And so when we're talking about this effort, it's accountability. So when I'm sitting over here, it's the same thing. Like, let's just talk about the greats. We're talking about Tom Brady. Tom Brady's going to give his effort. He's going to do everything possible. He's going to push everybody to do it. If I'm not talking to the guy beside me and holding these guys accountable, not the coaches, I'm talking about the guys beside me. Saying, man, what's the deal? How come we're not making this tackle? Like, I need a little bit more from you. Like, that's part of accountability on a football team. And you know that. You know, that's part of it. And so when we sit over here and we evaluating what guys are doing, it's the same thing. These guys was not going to give up. They knew they was behind the 8 ball, and they said, look, we got this, like you said, we back in the game. We got a spark of life, just getting that touchdown right there at the half. You know, they still down, what's that, 11 points? Mm-hmm. So, you know, we get some points at the half, yeah, you know, whatever. But what we did, we let them jokers hang around and just gave them a little bit more momentum. So it was, like I said, man, the blame goes all around. Because I just started seeing some things, man. To me, as a far, and I'm talking to other guys, you know, other football guys, and we saying the same thing. Like when we start looking at effort out there, we start looking at guys like missing tackles and stuff. Everybody like, look, man, we see that. We can tell. We know certain dudes who's not giving it at all. Like how come Chris is the only one that's getting in, you know, on that tackle? You know what I'm saying? On the sack. There should be other guys running around to get that. And so sometimes when I was seeing also too, maybe like and I'll say this, Cincinnati's defensive line, who's the one guy, I can't think his name, Hendricks, the one that was chasing Patrick around?
Yeah, Hendrickson.
Those are just effort. Those are effort guys. Yeah. Those are effort plays. Like every team likes a guy that's like that. He's just an effort guy. He's relentless. We hear words like that, relentless. High motor. No give. And they had that, and that's what they had. They had that. And they just, on their defensive line, even though they're rushing 3, they are coming after the football. They don't care. And so what they're trying to do is just disrupt the timing, get in his way, all those different things. And so we suffered. We did. I would just, you know, and now here we are.
So the way we're going to go up the show, we've had a lot of DMs to our Twitter account asking you guys to break down certain parts of the game. So our 4 concerns tonight are 4 different elements that kind of impacted the game. And our first one kind of talks about accountability. So one of the most talked about plays on Sunday was the play with 5 seconds left before halftime, which we could have gone up by 14 had we just gone for a field goal. Instead, we try, scoring a touchdown by throwing to Tyreek in the flat. Tyreek obviously got tackled by Eli Apple short of the goal line as time expired. Patrick, the camera shows Patrick. He's trying to go for a timeout, not knowing that we don't have any more timeouts, which I thought was was an odd thing. You should be, something as a quarterback, you should know how many timeouts you have there. But
I think you know.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. I hope so. But we obviously didn't have any timeouts. But after the game was over, they asked Mahomes and Andy Reid, and both guys blamed themselves on it. Mahomes said he should, he should have thrown for something else. But he also said if he go back in time, he would have done another play instead of that, not field goal. He said I would have done another play. And then Coach Reid blamed himself, saying I should have called a different play. I didn't know what I was calling. I should have called something else. So both guys obviously, taking blame for that.
We called a play that we were trying to get someone over the middle quick. And then I was supposed to throw the ball away. I got a little greedy there and try to give to Tyreek and get a touchdown. They had 2 people out there. So definitely, I mean, in the long run of things, it looks bad, but if we had another chance, I would have went for another play again.
I was hoping we could get the ball in the end zone. I probably gave him the wrong play, first of all. So to start with, I could have given him something better than that, where the play was open in the end zone. And And then we wouldn't have to go through that. But it's I'll take responsibility for that one out.
Well, what were your thoughts on that whole entire sequence?
All right. So I'll go. I'll say this. So that entire sequence down there, the very first play was really, it's the sprint left. It's West Coast offense. Basically what you're doing is you're flooding the zone. Okay. You kind of run a pick for the guy to run a flat, and it's really like a quick pylon throw to the front. Robinson's supposed to open up in the backside to catch that football. Never got there. Pat throws it in the dirt. Well, the second play, and here he is, and they're absolutely right. It's on Pat and it's on Andy with this one, without a doubt. And I agree with Pat. I think at that moment you go for the juggler, but it's got to be a quick throw. It can't be a whole, 5 seconds, 1,000, 1,000. It's got to be a quick throw. It has to be. You can run a quick out with Travis Kelce. You can run, back out the backfield. I mean, there's a myriad of plays that we've run in the end zone, and that we just didn't. And that's the play that we called. It was a horrible. Look, the formation in itself, I think, was just bad, and Andy knew it. Andy knew like the play in itself. The design of it was terrible. There was two guys out on the route, and then Tyreek over here, like kind of in on the swing pass. Like, I didn't understand that at all. Like, when you're looking for a quick pass, I mean, you're looking like it immediately got to come off the ball, right? You got to get all guys out right now. And so I didn't really understand that play. It was a bad call. It was a bad call by Andy putting the guys in that position, and that was a bad call on Pat for throwing the ball to Tyreek. Like you said, he should have been thrown up to, in the second stands if you wanted to. All right, then kick the field goal. But other than that, no, it was just a bad play. It was an absolute bad play, on both of those. And they right. Pat knows it was his fault, and Andy knows it was his fault too. So, but terrible. That was just the design of it. Bad design, bad play.
What are your thoughts on that sequence?
I mean, I don't know offense like that. I just know how to defend it. So, it's good to stop the clock with the passing play, but I just figured like the way our offensive line was blocking beginning of the game for the 2 or 3 yards that we needed, I think we could have ran that, and I think we had a touchdown, a timeout, right? Or did we not?
No.
Were we completely out by that time? We got down on first down?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, then that'd be tough though, because you can't really run the ball because you don't have time to get everybody lined up for the kicker in. So, to run a pass play, you got to come up with something better. Just get a quick incompletion and then go for the field goal. So, for Pat to make that throw, thinking that Tyreek was going to outrun them to that sideline, not good.
A lot of people online were saying that they think Tyreek could have made it to the pylon. Instead, he tried doing a little spin move. Do you think he could have made that angle to the pylon?
No, because I think Eli had the angle to get him, and I think there's a defensive tackle that was coming right on the inside. So on the cutback, he still would have he still would have made it.
And I'm gonna say this on that cutback, he could have had that cutback if somebody had blocked that defensive end a little bit more aggressively. So if you're doing that, maybe that cutback, but that's still a bad. Like that's a bad throw. You don't make that throw. I don't care. I mean, Tyreek, I get it, but you got to be in the end zone. Don't leave nothing up to chance. The ball's got to be. It's got to be an end zone throw. Period. Nothing else.
There were some skeptics, not Mahomes doubters, but people didn't like his response in the press conference saying he would do another play instead of just taking the 3 points there. People said they would like to hear Mahomes say that he should have just taken the points instead of saying I'd rather do another play over again.
You know what? If we had an opportunity to get a touchdown, hell yeah, I'd take the touchdown. But without the touchdown, you throw an incomplete pass, you stop the clock, you take the 3 points.
There you go. That's it right there. Because you still got time. There's got to be a quick pass, ball's down, kick the field goal. You got about a second left, 1 or 2. So
I mean, if we did something like come back with 13 seconds on a 25-yard line, you would think we could get a touchdown and win a game with 13 seconds on the 3-yard line going in.
Crazy, man.
Somebody at the game was telling me that they was going crazy when they had 13 seconds on the clock. They said they was going crazy. They was like 13 seconds. You know, they was like shouting it out.
Yeah, came back and bit us in the ass this time.
Okay, so the next concern, so obviously, as you guys alluded to, it seemed like, you know, in the second half, after that sequence, it seemed like a second half, like the Monstars came and took away all our powers, you know, like Space Jam. But, you know, something changed with the offense. The passing game just kind of was kind of sloppy, it seemed. But Jerick McKinnon and CEH were averaging 5.5 yards, 6 yards a carry between the two of them. Yet we could only come up with 3 points in the second half. What were you seeing as far as I mean, when you look at what was going on there, they pull them 8 men back, 3 men rushing, but yet we weren't really running the ball as much as we should have. I mean, what were you seeing as far as, were the looks there to run the ball? Obviously they were. I mean, what were you seeing as far as how they were defending us in the second half?
Teams have an identity. We have an identity as to who we are. We're a pass happy team. You know, we go out, we get chunk runs in the first half. And heck, I think even the second half, I think the first play was a 7 or 8 yard pickup. But most defenses are designed to start by run. That's where that's where our power comes from, our success. And if we had run the ball the entire game, or do we win it? I don't know that. But we did have a lot of success doing it. I do know that the majority of our team success comes from Patrick, Kelsey, and Tyreek Hill. And without utilizing that, just for me to say that we can win that way, I don't know. That's something JD could answer, but I don't know that. Throughout the years of me seeing this trio of guys, we win mostly when the ball is in the air going to one of those 2 guys. And I think most defenses know that. And so when we do get these chunks, it's kind of unexpected because everybody thinks that we're supposed to pass the ball, even though our offensive line has proven that they can run block. You know, they even proved it in that game. And I think they've proven it all season that they can run block. But again, that's not who we are. That's not our identity. We're a pass-happy team. And so I don't want to just dwell on what, I said about Pat earlier. It's just that I just saw him not mentally tuned in the second half to making the throws that he's been prone to make. So.
And so we eventually, when I think about this, if your quarterback is not having a good passing, completion, what you do is you run the football. You help in that the balance of, okay, well, guess what? We want to put the ball in your hand all the time. Let's get you into the rhythm. The thing was, like you said, man, they was getting 7, 8 yards on a carry. And the thing is, we went away from it. We absolutely went away from it on the second half. The thing is, it worked because we had balance in the first half that Jerick was getting 6 or 7 yards. So it was like second and short, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. And that's where you want to be at. We just completely got away from that from the second half. Not just get down on the, in the red zone to score at the end of the game, which we should have done. We should have ran the football. We easily had 2 plays to run the ball instead of 2 passes. And they get in overtime and then get into like 3 straight passes, pass. And it's like, I don't understand it. So part of the thing is, I know we shared an RPO. Marcus had brought up, and it was RPO on the interception. That's what it was. And so when you're looking at it, it was 8 in the box, but what we failed to do that we did in the first half was we was moving Travis around a bit more, where he was able in some of the blocking plays was to kick out maybe a defensive end, kind of run up. Like all you need to do is just get positive yards. And so Jerick McKinnon was running hard. CH was running hard, but Jerick, without a doubt to me, was running harder than CH. Okay, he just had a little bit more juice in it. And so I think we kind of got away from him doing that. And I get the whole like pass happy offense, but that's what bit us this game and bit us in the Super Bowl last year. And so when we start looking at the games that we lost, we got away from running the football. And the thing is, when you have those guys like, Hendrickson and all those guys who are just pass rushers, you let Trey Smith, Brown, Thuney, Creed, let them lean on these guys. Wear the defense out. You got to keep them honest. You know what's going to keep them out of that eight-man drop? Run the football. That's what you have to do. Sometimes it's just a bully ball. And what you do is you don't have to run it every play. I'm not saying we just become a run team, but you keep them honest. Sometimes you just got to go underneath the center and keep them honest. Run play action. Play action works. Matter of fact, they did it in the first half, and it was killing them because you know what? We was getting 7-8 yards on the carry. So then all of a sudden they had to honor it. So even if you had 7-8 in a box, they still got to honor the run. So that's why I just didn't understand, man. This the whole second half, man, the design and some of the calls and how it was just done. I think we kind of panicked. And I think we panicked not just from 15. I think we panicked also too, coaching staff-wise, about what do we do? See, because the thing is, they ran, the three-man rush the first half, and we ate it up. We were successful against it. Second half was almost like, well, we just, we don't know what's going on. We don't know what to do. So run the ball. How about that? Run the football a little bit. Don't go RPO, run the football. Have a set run play. Come in 2 tight ends if you want to. Run play action. Keep that team honest. So that's what you do.
So I saw some people on Twitter were talking about how obviously you can't compare Deebo Samuel and Tyreek Hill as far as stature-wise. But something that San Francisco does is Deebo's a playmaker, and they get him the ball, whether it's, design routes or not. And this whole second half, I don't think Tyreek Hill had a catch in the second half. He didn't get the ball in his hands. Do you think going forward, I mean, obviously this is something for the offseason, but is this something we should look at next year where it's like trying to get Tyreek the ball, whether putting him in the backfield, trying to get him other ways to get him the ball, whether it's not just a design route every time?
Told you, man, we got 2 wide receivers that was former running backs. We got Harmon. We gave him the ball a couple of times, and he got positive yards. And then also we went away from it. So I still think you do the stretch play with him as much. I wouldn't say necessarily inside, but yeah, I mean definitely. You got to put the ball in the hands of the playmakers as much as possible. They just use Deebo like they should, man. I mean, I'm amazed at what Deebo has been doing this season, for real, man. I mean, he was an absolute monster out there this past season. I didn't think they had it in him, but that's what you do.
I don't know. You can't use Tariq like Deebo. Like that's a different build and a different type of playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we use Tariq to the best of our abilities, especially because he's going to get double teamed most of the time. So that's why we use a lot of motion just to see if a team is in man-to-man or zone, to see how they're going to play it. And when he's able to draw the attention of 2, we need the other guys to show up and get open. Now, there's a lot of times, even on the time where Patrick dropped back and fumbled the ball when we got the field goal at the end, I saw Kelsey come across wide open in the end zone. We didn't get the ball. A couple other times I saw guys open and he take off scrambling. And even like I said in the first 2 touchdowns, they weren't just drop back touchdowns. They were drop back and scramble, get outside and throw a pass.
Yeah.
That's not a design play for a touchdown. No. You're out there scrambling to try to find something. I think we need to come up with something more stellar instead of all the gimmicky stuff to try to find plays to get the offense. Because once Pat sees that his first target isn't open, in some situations, he's making the wrong scramble when he should probably go ahead and make another second window, third window, instead of making the scramble. But yet with the success early in the games, he thinks that he's going to continue having that, so he continue doing that. But I think that that's a part of what the coaches see. They have to relay to him to make him understand that, look, you don't have to scramble all the time, but if you do, get the positive yardage. You don't have to come backwards. Look at your second and third options also. And, that's a relationship that's built. And I think that relationship is good between EB and Andy and Patrick. But just to me, I think this Patrick gets in his own way at times on the field instead of believing what either he knows or what they're trying to tell him. Again, great talent. Love him to death. Glad he's with our team. I just wish he would get out of his own way at times.
That one that you're talking about with Travis down there in the end zone, I wonder what he was seeing. I don't know if he didn't see him or he didn't trust the throw. I mean, we from the eye, we can see from up top that Travis is open. He comes open, right? And Patrick's made those throws before. I mean, he can make every throw in the book. We know that. Okay, he has a strong arm. He can zip the ball in there. So I wonder, like that play specifically, if he didn't see him or he just wasn't confident in the throwing itself. So I don't know. That boggled me on that one. So I'm just like, man, that joke was open in the end zone. That's a touchdown. That's a tub right there.
Yeah. And the irony behind that is, who knows why he didn't throw it? Maybe he didn't see it, or he just didn't want to potentially throw an interception there. But he ends up scrolling, going around, and all of a sudden he gets stripped, and the game could have ended on a turnover anyway. Thankfully, it didn't at that point.
Bad deal. That was horrible.
I will say though, E has been all over McCole Hardman, like as far as being on his side this whole year. You've been one of the biggest supporters of Hardman, and he tore it up this postseason. I think in that game he wanted the ball, he wanted to keep eating in that game, and obviously we saw it in the sidelines between him and Tyreek. Did you all see that Hardman wasn't getting the targets and the looks? Did you? And I don't know if you guys have watched the all 22s, or when you watched the game, you saw Hardman being open, and he wasn't getting the targets.
Man, I think that's hard when you got that many weapons and that many weapons with those type of personalities. Each one of those guys have a big personality. Tyreek Hill, Kelsey, and McCole. When they get big plays, they celebrate. They're happy about it. They don't let you know. And when you get that kind of, those type of players, you only got one ball to go around. And so the other guys, I think they've made it work. I know they did have an incident on the side when Tyreek and McCole I don't know if it was an argument or discussion or what, but I know Romo and the guys in the booth were kind of making it like they were arguing about not getting the ball. And that creates havoc, the kind of havoc that can have you sitting at home instead of playing next week. But yet, when your ones and twos have been doing it daily, every weekend for you, and year after year, it's still kind of hard to bring that third guy in, because that third guy is just an option, and those others are just, okay, I know I can count on Tyreek. I know I can count on Kelsey. McCole, you've been here for some years. I can count on you when I need you. But I know I got these two Pro Bowl guys. And so when McCole's trying to make a name for himself, he's trying to get that big contract. He's trying to get to that big game, And so, yeah, he's hungry. He's wanting to fight for it. And, I hope that's not the case. I hope they weren't arguing, but I don't know that. But, yeah, I think he's a good receiver. Will he be up with us next year? I don't know. I'd like for us to get a big receiver with speed, somebody that we can run slant routes, run hitch routes, run fade routes with, and let Tyreek and Kelsey do their thing. Like I said in the text, I wish on goal line, we just throw Kelsey out at an X or something and just say, hey, we're going to throw you a fade route.
Right.
There's not many safeties that can defend you. So, but we don't do that. We want the crossing route, the gimmicky stuff. So.
Yeah, you know what, man, that to me, and he's right. I think, McCole, because to be honest with you, man, he was eating. Joe had a touchdown. He got that one, the deep route. He got the one, a couple of, handoffs coming around the edge. So he was doing a good job. He was doing a good job. But like you said, that disrupts things. So sometimes when you take that and you start yelling, "Ooh, I'm open all the time." Tyreek like, yo, man, shoot, we all open. we ain't the only one open. We all open right now. Like, don't go over here, take us to Pat and everybody. You know what I'm saying? And we right now we trying to find ourselves at this moment. So you sitting here calling, holler for the ball. Tyreek like, man, I can holler for the ball every play if I wanted to. Travis could do the same thing. So don't you come over here and start doing that, because all it does it's a disruptor. It's absolute disruptor. And sometimes, man, like little things like that, especially when you're trying to, bring back, whatever momentum, positive, plays that you can. Those things are important. It's important. Everybody's on the same page. Everybody's, focused, even-headed about everything. Those things are important. And so that's why I tell you, like, yo, man, chill with all of that. We don't need that right now. Okay. I know you open. I'm sure you open on this play. You can tell the wide receiver, tell Greg, let him know. Let him go ahead and relay it to EB, and we'll get it done. Cost the plays for you. But, you doing that ain't going to help. I know you eating, bro, but daggone, bro. Come on now.
Yeah.
We all open. So.
Yeah, I believe they reported it because they got to kind of like not a little yelling match on the sideline, but they said they ended up dapping it up and they were fine after that. Okay, so and Hardman has one more year on his rookie contract, so we'll have him for at least one more year, and we're already hearing rumors about bringing in another receiver for this coming offseason. We'll get to that in the coming weeks, but going for the next concern. So obviously we saw last week, the Tennessee Titans had 9 sacks on Cincinnati. Cincinnati gave up the 3rd most sacks in the league during the season at 55. Yet we only had 1 sack and only 4 hits on Burrow on Sunday. So I guess the question is, why was the pass rush a problem for us this game and pretty much all season long? Why was it such an issue for us to get to the quarterback?
I don't know. I honestly have no answers for that. I think that we played well when Ingram came in. But even in the Cincy game, I think he had a sack that he kind of dove over Burrow's head and missed him. So for whatever reason, our front seven wasn't able to capitalize or get to the quarterback. I don't know the answer. I do know that we don't have good speed in our front seven, meaning you can get the slowest quarterback and he's going to get 4 or 5 yards on a scramble. We can't. It's hard for us to keep guys in the pocket. Anybody breaks that pocket, we can't catch him. Chris isn't the fastest guy. None of those other guys on the D-line are fast. Willie Gay looks to be about the fastest linebacker we have. I thought Bolden was going to be a lot faster than what he is, but, he's a rookie. I think he played really, really good ball this year for us, but he doesn't have the speed that I thought he'd have. And Hitchens, Neiman, not feeling it with those guys. And, I hate to part ways with guys that have been there for a while, but, when you're an organization and you're trying to go places, you got to get rid of dead weight. You got to try to bring in new, younger, cheaper talent. And so free agency, we should be, I almost see us bringing in a whole new defense and keeping like 3 or 4 guys. So, but that's just my opinion.
So what I was seeing on the defensive line, sometimes he's running twists, guys went in the right lane, the right gaps. Sometimes they give them, like he said, we're giving up lanes to run on. I mean, Frank was at a position a few times that helped Joe get open as far as with the scramble. And so, Ingram came in and he was a difference maker. We're going to need another guy opposite of Ingram to be that pass rush guy. I don't know what Frank, I don't know what the situation is going to be with him. I think they said Reed is parting ways. I think he put out today that, this is like it's been real or whatever, kind of like that, saying that I guess basically he's leaving. And the thing is, Chris gonna need some help inside, man. There's gonna be we need a big body. Somebody's gonna be able to cause some havoc up front besides Chris. So when I was talking about some of those things, effort plays, if you have only a few plays that you're coming in for, you gotta take advantage of them. You gotta make them the most at those plays that you got, those snaps that you have. And so sometimes when I'm seeing these things, I don't see guys ready to scratch and, claw and throw guys. And I'm talking about, when we talk about that high motor, relentless, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, jumping over the pile. I mean, doing everything to get back there. And I'm seeing second half, I'm looking at Joe Burrow starting to have time, starting to have a pocket. I don't know if guys is right out of gas or what it was, but I didn't really see a whole lot of that pass rush, that disruption. And I just, those are the things you need at certain times. Somebody's got to make a play. So like I said, if you're in that rotation, man, you got to make your presence felt. You have to. So like I said, this is like the last bastion of, you got to give it all. And so we didn't really see that, man, from the pass rush. Chris got back there a couple of times. Like you said, Ingram got back there. I think the 2 times Chris got back there, he didn't really bend his knees. You know, to me, man, come on. It ain't the time or the place for it. You know what I'm saying? For that, just say, And I'm not saying he didn't really give that effort, but this could be a little bit more. So that was what was the problem, I think, with the pass rush. Guys out of position. When you run the stunts, you got a responsibility on those stunts, what you run. Everybody has a lane. You either take 2 or you coming up or coming around. Man, you got to look at it and evaluate it. When I was seeing it, I didn't see it.
Yeah, and just looking at just postseason snaps, I believe our friend of the show, Lance the Spoken, he tweeted out yesterday. So Frank Clark has 1 sack in his last 198 defensive snaps in the playoffs, and Chris Jones has 0 sacks in his 510 career playoff snaps. Both guys combined for about $190 million.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to dog anybody. You know, it's their job. They made that money. They earned that money. But I mean, it's a business at the end of the day. And it's like, you know,
I'm keeping Chris Jones.
Of course. Oh yeah, of course. And I believe if we want to make a decision on Frank Clark, we have to do it by a certain date. Otherwise, we something with the contract there, we have to cut him at a certain date if we want to not have any dead money in cap. So,
hey man, look, this is performance business. This is the NFL. Okay, bottom line, you either perform or you don't. Period. And so sometimes you gotta be able to justify, you know, what you're getting paid. And so when you got high money guys getting a lot of money, guys are looking for results. I mean, that's you know, right or wrong. It's just what it is, right? I mean, you know,
we've been on it all year. I think we understandably can see getting away from Frank Clark. I mean, hell, Ingram replaces that. You bring somebody else in, but Chris, you're not gonna find too many that can disrupt an offensive line like him.
No, not at all. I mean, yeah, Chris, man. I mean, that's the guy you keep. That's why I said, man, he's a guy that needs help. He shouldn't be the only one back there. Ingram should be the only one back there. Chris needs some help inside. You know, I thought Reed was going to give it to him, provide it. I don't know, man.
And I think the thing is, I saw somebody on Twitter making fun of somebody who was saying, you know, bring back Melvin Ingram, let Frank Clark go. And like, oh, you know, Melvin Ingram, you know, he's so old. It's like, well, you know, when that guy came over, he was one, you know, providing a lot of the QB pressures, you know, and he's going to make a quarter of the money that Frank Clark's making, you know, a 1 year, $4 million deal versus, you know, how much, 20 million, something million that Frank Clark's making. So,
hey, man, I learned a long time ago, the more money you make, the more expendable you become. That's how it works in the NFL. Start getting that big check, you become expendable. If you especially ain't producing, that's how it works. That's for everybody.
Yeah. And Spags' defense, you know, if you look at his New York Giants days, they like 5 or 6 dudes who could just come in and pass rush all game long, and we didn't have that this year. I don't think we really had that since Spags has been over in Kansas City. Looking for a new VPN service? Well, we got the one for you. A good VPN service provides you a secure, encrypted tunnel for online traffic to flow. Nobody can see through the tunnel, get their hands on your online data, or find your real IP address and location. Well, NordVPN is the best VPN if you're looking for peace of mind when on public Wi-Fi. Securely access personal information or work files, encrypt your internet connection, and keep your browsing history and online identity private. Enjoy online privacy and security with NordVPN. Grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/believe or use the code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV. To get up to 70% off your NordVPN plan plus 1 additional month for free. It's also risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guaranteed. NordVPN, your VPN service. All right, so our final concern of the night, and after this, we'll close the book on the Cincinnati Bengals game and never talk about it again as we get into our all-season episodes. But So one of the most confusing parts of the second half of the game was that last possession in regulation where we had the ball down at the 10-yard line, at the 5 or 10-yard line, and we didn't score a touchdown there. We had all of our timeouts, and we didn't score. We obviously scored a field goal almost. We almost fumbled it away, but we scored a field goal, tied, go to overtime. Then first possession of overtime, we get ball. 2 straight plays to Demarcus Robinson. I think he got targeted one play before in the entire game, but 2 straight targets for him. Then a bomb to Tyreek in double coverage, interception, and they come down and win it. Obviously, what sense did you make of those 2 drives or those 2 possessions there at the end of the game?
I don't. I mean, the only reason that you go to Robinson because it's unexpected. You feel like if he hasn't been a big part of the offense, they're not looking to guard him. But no, at that, what you try to run, and at this point in time in the game, you got to go with your playmakers. Go with what works best for the offense. Go with what's successful, and we didn't do that. And Tariq has made big plays like that in the past, going up, catching that big ball. I don't know, man. It's easy for them to sit back and talk about what should have happened and what didn't happen. And it's kind of like what JD said, but we did this to ourselves. We blew up in the second half, and with going into overtime, I thought we would try to go for the touchdown. And yeah, we just went for the field goal and, trying to play it safe. No, punch that thing in the end zone and get this over with. But I think we were worried about running the clock out and not trying to get them the ball back. So different mindset, be aggressive. Go for the jugular, get the touchdown, and don't even worry about the overtime. Let them travel the length of the field. That's what hurt us in the second half, the big interception because it gave a short field. After we did a good job of stopping him on the play before and just hold him to a field goal, we give him a short field goal right after that. So they punch it in for the touchdown. So, and this is at our place, and to sit there and get embarrassed like that, to not show up in the second half is pretty pathetic.
Yeah, that whole series, before overtime, you no doubt score. Okay, Cincinnati has no timeouts. You go down to score, put it in Joe Burrow's hands to go get a touchdown. That's what he needs. He needs a touchdown with probably about 40 seconds left on the clock. Okay, and you know what? I would have given it to my defense all day in that scenario, but it absolutely blows my mind why 2nd and 3, well, we was on a 4-yard line. Wow, we couldn't run the football or go on the center and try to at least, like he said, punch it in, or run a play action pass from that. I'm sitting over here. I'm in my head. I'm sitting there like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing right now? And I couldn't wrap my head around it. And I know the linemen sit there thinking like, man, look, we just need 3 or 4 yards to get in the end zone. We can do it. If we need just the will to get in, to push these guys in, we're going to do it. If you need to bring in an extra lineman, do it. Bring the 2 tight ends, do it. You run the play action with the 3 tight ends out of that set. You got 100 plays I've seen this past season. 100 plays. Hey, run the shovel pass. Man, that's been successful.
You ain't lying.
Hey, live and die with that sucker, man. Run that shovel pass. You know what I mean? That God, I just don't understand it, man. I would shake my head. I just couldn't understand it. I couldn't get it. And then we go into overtime, and I think, to be honest with you, I think that was the one where that was where he was really like out there. You know what I'm saying? Because the fumble happened, and it was like, oh gosh, like I almost really lost the game. And so when you come out, and then you immediately go into passing, I'm like, what are we doing? He's rattled. You know, right now he's not where he needs to be, right? So get him out of that mode, man. Run the football. Give it to McKinnon. Do something else with it. But throwing it to Robinson, look, I don't care who he passed to, but that guy, run the football. Establish something again, at least. Because you got now all of a sudden you got the tempo. You got the coin toss at your place. You got the flip at your house. Now you put it in your ground the way that you want to do it. Now, like, look, this is how now we're gonna make it. Now we're gonna make it happen. Daggone, I see Patrick, man. I seen his hair, his little curl in the front was shaking. You know what I'm saying? I was like, daggone, oh man, I ain't never seen this little curl in the front shake like that.
Yeah.
So,
also before you go, since the guy always wants to know what I'm watching, is Cleveland and Houston game.
Yeah, hashtag what's Eric watching? And there
I
you
know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in that end of the game, that third down play, like the throwing up the bomb to Tyreek and double coverage. I mean, it just seemed like we had nothing else in the playbook. You talked about we have hundreds of plays in the playbook. That's what we can muster up.
man, oh my gosh. Yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't know what those coaches were thinking. I don't know what the players were thinking. But from sitting here today, I know they weren't thinking about getting to LA.
Yeah. It would have been a good Super Bowl too.
Yep.
Oh my God.
It's too bad. But I guess that does it for us. We're gonna, like we said, we're gonna close the book on this AFC Championship game, and we'll forget about it until we play Cincinnati next year, and then I'm sure we'll start talking about it again. But that does it for us. Thanks for tuning in to Chief Concerns presented by BetOnline. Next week we'll get into a lot of the offseason rumors that are already starting to happen today. Tyrann Mathieu tweets, Jaron Reed's tweets, Juju Smith-Schuster possibly coming to Kansas City. That's also another rumor that's already out there. But we'll get into all that in the coming weeks. Hope everyone has a good night.
Good. Yeah, have a good one, guys.
All right.